Burrell here. We're going to work in InDesign today to figure out how to do your layout for the Structural Dominance 5-page project. So open up InDesign, start Create New, and then over in the units you want to select inches. Make sure it's set on portrait. Do not use facing pages, that will be to your detriment. Use primary text frame, and make sure that we're set at 1 inch. Down here, everything's at 1 inch. That will give you the key line that we want, and I'll show you that once we get this opened up. So first thing we want to do is delete the initial text box they give you. We don't want to fill that with anything. It's just going to be in the way for our process. It's a text box. So just hit the delete key. We'll start fresh. I'm going to create 6 layers here. The first layer will be guides. The next one will be the key line. Then we will have the header, copy or text, and then your image or photo that you're going to apply. And this last one is going to be the dominance and student name. We'll get back to that. So let's go back to keyline. We're going to create that keyline by going over to the rectangular tool in the toolbox. Click on that. Right on that allocation, you create that 1 by 1. That's going to give you a 6.5 by 9 inch box work area. This is your margin allocation. Nothing will be in this area. This is a framing device which will benefit the process and prevent you from having to cut a gray mat board. We want to make that key line at 0.5 at 100% of value. Then lock that box, and we will not go back to that. So the box is locked, and we'll go to guides and we'll create guides. So we talked about columns, so come up here to layout, margins and columns. First off, make sure it's in preview, and we're going to create, I'm going to create 5. You can create 2, 3, or 4 columns depending. I like to work in 5. That's just my work process. Then I need to create the margin within the key line. So while this is linked, I can bring this in. So if I break the link, I can bring the bottom up if I want. That's just something I do, but you're not required to. There, I've got my 5 columns, and now I want to do the rows. Go back, past margin columns down to create guides. So these are really more like guides. Again, preview. Make sure the option is fit guides to margin. That is the margin within this allocation from the key line. And we'll create those select rows. I'm going to give myself 6 of these. Nice square. Boom, I'm done. Now what I want to do is create additional guides for the piece to help you through your grading process and help you stay on point with the work. And I'll drag this across like so. Make sure you have all your guides here across. Very important. You already have your horizontal guides are set. And if you have a challenge with, I see the one that's out of whack, I'll show you how to fix that real quickly. Since they're still active, I can take that guide and move it back into position. Now I have guides where I want them. I want to make sure I lock them. So go up to View, down to Guides, and go Lock Guides. Now they're locked, they cannot move. And we want to add the line to that. So we go to the Pen tool, and we're going to make an allocation. And if we don't preset the line, it's going to want to continue drawing. So we hold down the Command key, click, and go draw another one on the guide. Command key, click, draw another one. Hold the Command key, click, draw another one. Command key, click, and draw another one. Now, for those of you that are familiar in Illustrator, you can actually come up here with your Select tool, select those, click, hold down the Shift option and drag, and that will duplicate those, and they'll go to the next box, which would save a lot of time. And I can do like 2 at a time if I wanted. Quite the time saver. Make sure they're right where they need to be. And then the last one, I'll do the same thing. Drag one down, and now we need to do the verticals. Go back, get the Pen tool, draw a line here, here, Command key, click, draw, draw, Command key, click, draw, draw, Command key, click, go back to the select tool, click and hold and drag these across. Make sure you have something in every one of those. And hit the W to make sure I have everything. Everything's there. And now what I'm going to do is reduce the size of those. So I'm going to Command A, change them to 0.25 at 50% of value. You just want a very faint allocation there. So you look at it, that's all we want. It's just enough to see where our columns are. Perfect, we're ready to start building our document. But let's make some templates. Instead of making each one of these pages over and over again, you can take the existing work, take this page and draw it up into the template box. It's going to go Master B. I'm going to hold down the Option key and click and rename that. I'll just call that 5-column margin. And I'll go OK, there it is. You can go back if you want. On A, you can make a 3-column. You can have different sizes within that. This is just allocations for developing templates. So now that I have a template made, I can just simply drag it down each time, and I have my 5 pages that are required. Okay, there we go. So the simple thing, go to the very first page, and I want to put in my kitty. Here's my kitty from the other demo. I'm going to create a page allocation, make sure I am on my photo layer. So I'm on the photo layer now. I can actually lock the guide layer for right now just for security. I'll go to and grab my little rectangular tool and go here. Either I can drag the kitty in there, Command Z, or I go up to File, Place, go find the kitty picture, choose, and there's the kitty. Note that the kitty has not been pre-sized, so in order to get the fit in the box properly, I will go back up to the object, and go Fit, Fit Frame, Proportional, and now the cat will proportionally fit on its widest point effectively. If you go back to the Direct Select tool, you can actually see how big that picture is. We could increase the size of that if we wanted to and do some cropping within the box. So everything outside of that would be covered. It's almost like a clipping mask within the program. So maybe that's where I want it for my kitty. I like it. And I can go ahead and build a title. So I go to my header. I will go get a text box and draw in a text box and write in kitty cat. And let's see, let's make the size of that. We have Command T will give you your text box. Again, Command T, learn your command keys. And I can change that font if I want. Let's go Futura. As soon as I start typing, it's going to give me an example of what I typed in the box, and I can kind of pre-select what I think is of value. So we'll go to this one, and I'll increase the size up to 1 inch. Let's do a little spelling correction here. I did an L instead of an I. Not a big deal. We have a lot of control on this. If I want that to be taller and I want to do it at incremental pieces, again, I can double click on that and I can just do each individual one on demand. And while it's selected, I can come back here to the eyedropper tool and it will give me all this range of colors within the photo. And if I want to colorize the text, all I really need to do is come in and make a selection. And it's kind of a nice thing. It allows you to mix and match colors for your piece. So now I've got a color that matches my photo for my title. I did mention that your titles can be different colors, but your body copy has to be either black or white. White if it runs over a photograph, so that's acceptable. We could have come in here and done some cutting in Photoshop so that I had the ears exposed, but since I don't have all of the ear in that, which is fine. So we'll go to the copy layer, and I will drag myself some copy. And let's see, I've got a couple columns here. I'll do a column here. I'll draw another column if I want to have these linked together. Take the select tool, click here, And there's this little box at the bottom of the first one. It gives me this little dialog box and the chain click. That means I can do filler. Go back up to type. I'm going to go add filler text, and there we go. I did mention the assignment that we'll be playing around with tab allocations, so we want to set some tabs. So I'm going to select all of the type. I notice here I need to put a period into that. So select all the type, come up here to type, tabs. And normally I don't like the tabs that are set. They're just too far for me. So we'll look at how far this one goes. That's just too far. So Command Z, undo. I'm going to make it a little bit shallower. I only like about 3 tabs in, so go to tabs. I'm going to select the tab tool, click, and that allows me to, you can see where it moves in the margin. That's about right. Now I can come in here and effectively just go tab. You probably want a couple. You never tab on the first paragraph. That's just your 8th grade English. I do one over here as well. Go tab. And I'll capitalize that E just so that it's correct. And look for your grammar errors. And now what I can do is look at this and hit the W again, see how it looks. Make sure that I'm out of the text tool before I hit W. And then I can turn off my allocations and look at the piece all the way through. And there we go. That gives you an idea. You could continue playing with your layout. Let's say you wanted to actually move the text over. You could do that. And maybe create this a little bit smaller. You can actually hold your Option key and use the little arrow keys at the bottom of your keyboard to do some, kerning. Now I've got kind of this little moniker with it justified left and the text justified right to create some balance and visual acuity. You'll go ahead and continue this process with all the other pages. You go to the next page and you'll put in your line allocations. You'll look at bringing in your pumpkin, whatever your photos are that you have. Very simply put placement. And these photos can be bleed if you want. Maybe we'll go back and I'll show you that real quick before we go on to the next exercise. So there's the pumpkins. If you want those to be a bleed, you can just bring your box allocation down the corners, and now it's a bleed photo, top and bottom. And we'll allow that to the direct select tool. I can actually do some additional playing around. Okay? Again, hold the W, and you can turn off your guides, and you can start building as thus. In the next program, I'll show you how to prepare this for print.